Good evening, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, man gunned down at a garage in Martha Brae, Trelawney. Crime scene investigators are currently probing a fatal shooting which occurred at a garage in Martha Brae, Trelawney on Friday. Preliminary reports are that shortly after 9 a.m., the victim had exited a vehicle he had parked at the garage when he was attacked by unidentified assailants who shot him several times. He died at the scene. The deceased has not yet been identified. Investigations are ongoing. Friday's fatal shooting marks the third murder recorded by the Trelawney Police Division since the start of the year. Anchovy High student dies during sporting event. The news understands that an Anchovy High School student died after participating in a sporting activity Friday morning. Information at this time is scarce, but it is being reported that the incident occurred during the school's cross-country running event. Further reports are that classes and other events have been suspended at the institution, and a meeting of the school board and the faculty has subsequently been called. Personnel from the Ministry of Education and Youth are also said to have been deployed to the institution. Security officer accused of abducting teen, locking her in his home. A 59-year-old security officer has been charged with forcible abduction following an incident in which he allegedly locked a teenage girl inside his home and demanded sexual favors. The accused, Gregory Morris, also known as Marshall, is of an Orange Street address in Kingston. According to reports, around 10:30 a.m. on Thursday, Morris brought a teenage girl to his residence, locked her inside, and made sexual demands. It is further alleged that when she refused, he brandished a knife, pointed it at her, and told her she could only leave if his demands were met. The girl managed to alert her family and shared her location. Her family summoned the police, and an operation was conducted at the address. The accused man was arrested and later charged. His court date is being finalized. 14-year-old among two accused in taxi driver's carjacking. A 14-year-old boy is one of two individuals charged with robbing a taxi driver of his vehicle and restraining him with his own clothing along the Hellshire Main Road in Portmore, St. Catherine on Wednesday. The other suspect, 20-year-old Kevin Young, also known as King, is a construction worker from Linstead, St. Catherine. Both individuals are charged with robbery with aggravation and malicious destruction of property. According to reports, around 1 p.m., the victim was driving his gray 2012 Toyota Probox, which he operates as a taxi, when Young and the teenager allegedly stole his vehicle. It is reported that during the robbery, they ripped the driver's shirt and used it to bind his hands before escaping in the stolen car. The police were summoned, and the vehicle was later intercepted along the Port Henderson Road with Young and the teenager inside. The complainant then identified his motor car and pointed out both accused to the lawmen. Young and the teenager were arrested and subsequently charged. They are scheduled to appear in court on Friday, April 11. Water versus water at a Kingston court. Two correctional officers were present at the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday. However, one was in the prisoner's dock and the other giving evidence following the discovery of unauthorized cell phones at the Horizon Adult Remand Center. David Facey was before the court on charges of introducing prohibited articles into a penal institution after he was found with a cell phone in his sock and another in his pocket while he attempted to access an area of the prison where cell phones were not allowed. He is putting his colleagues through the god-awful task of prosecuting one of their own, Senior Parish Judge Sancha Burrell said when the man appeared before her. The other correctional officer, dressed in uniform, indicated that no phones, even personal ones, were allowed beyond the checkpoint where Facey was searched and the phones found. He indicated this would have been common knowledge, accompanied by signage in the prison. Pointing to the 2023 Klansman gang trial, Burrell indicated that it was the responsibility of the court to take matters like this seriously. People don't use phones to do good things in custody, she maintained. The judge indicated that Facey could have endangered his colleagues and innocent civilians by arming convicts with a phone. Highlighting his length of experience, she said the man should know better. You were a correctional officer before Horizon Remand Center was a place. You are a disgrace, Burrell said. Horizon Adult Remand Center opened in 2002. The prosecution indicated Facey had been a correctional officer for 28 years. Files, including a statement from the prison, were yet to be completed, and while Burrell considered revoking the man's bail, she allowed him to remain out of custody. However, the judge made a stop order against Facey and ordered that he relinquish his passport. 2 dead, driver in custody after Sir Florizel Glasspool highway crash. A man and a woman are dead after being hit by motorists along the Sir Florizel Glasspool highway in Kingston this morning. Reports are that around 6:30 a.m., a male driver was traveling along the roadway towards Harborview when he lost the control of the vehicle, striking the 2 pedestrians. The vehicle also overturned on the road. The man and woman were later pronounced dead. The driver was taken into custody and a breathalyzer test was administered, which returned a negative result. He is reportedly facing a charge of manslaughter. The man was previously charged for breaches of the Road Traffic Act. St. Anne cabinet maker fatally chopped at home, house is set on fire. The St. Anne police are investigating the death of a man in Brownstown who was fatally chopped and his house is set on fire early Friday morning. Dead is 34-year-old cabinet maker David Park of Benin District. Reports are that about 2:10, Park was attacked and chopped by unknown assailants who also set his house ablaze. He was assisted to the St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Brownstown Criminal Investigation Branch is probing the matter. Scene of crime officer identifies a police defendant in Mario Dean trial. The Westmoreland Circuit Court today heard evidence from a scene of crime investigator who positively identified one of the cops charged in the death of Mario Dean, who was beaten in a cell and later died, as the one who took him to the cell where the incident happened. Detective Constable Ricardo Evans of the Area 1 Scene of Crime Unit told the court that Constable Marlon Grant, one of the 3 officers now on trial, escorted him to the cell where Dean was beaten on August 3, 2014. Evans said that Grant was instructed to escort him to the cell block at the Barnett Street Police Station in St. James when he came there to process a cell at the facility on August 3. That request for processing of the cell came to Evans the same day Dean was beaten while in custody at the Barnett Street facility for possession of a ganja spliff. Evans told the court that he did not know Grant prior to that day and that their interaction during his visit at the Barnett Street lockup was minimal. High Court Justice Courtney Day subsequently adjourned the trial for continuation on April 8 when Evans' evidence-in-chief will continue. Grant is on trial along with Corporal Elaine Stewart and Constable Juliana Cleavon on charges of manslaughter and misconduct in a public office under allegations that they were the officers on duty at the time when Dean was beaten at the Barnett Street lockup. Dean died at the Cornwall Regional Hospital 3 days later. Stewart is also charged with perverting the course of justice, where she allegedly ordered for the cell where Dean was beaten to be cleaned before the arrival of Independent Commission of Investigations representatives. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.